I'm Kat Hiskey, owner and founder of the Weave Buddy. I want to show you my new redesigned Weave Buddy Lite. I used to have the Weave Buddy Lite out, and then it wasn't selling as much as I'd hoped because I feel like it needed to be even lighter, and now it is. Okay. Also, hello, how are you? Also, I wanted to show you guys the replacement of the harder bridge. So on there, you're going to have a choice. On all of the units now, you have a choice to replace the harder bridge. So this is what it looks like when the harder bridge is replaced. It's got grip in the middle, that thicker grip. So that's what it looks like when the harder bridge is replaced. You've got the grip in its place, and it's also twice as thick as the normal amount of grip. So here we go. I've got a little example of hair loss at the perimeter area, which is the usual hair loss that is going on nowadays. So we're going to go ahead, and this still is the same kind of way that you do the other Weave Buddies. The curve goes around the ears, so just remember that. If you have the curve facing towards the back of her head, you're putting it on wrong. So the curve needs to go around her ears. That's the same thing as the original Closure Buddy and all the other ones with the full wing around, okay? So it's going on towards her face. You've got this part going around her ear, okay? The elastic band. Now, you want to make sure that you bring it forward enough that it gives her her new hairline, which you know that already, right? And another thing I want to do, I want to check to see if both sides here are even. So I need a little bit, I need to bring it over to this side just a little bit. There we go. And I want to make 100% sure that her new hairline is going to be nice and full. Okay, so I'm going to tie these two in a bow, and we have the front two that go for now, because it changes once you sew in the buddy. First you tie it at the front, and then it's going to be tied to the back once the Weave Buddy is sewn in. So this is what it should look like, okay, when you put it on. Okay. This is the Weave Buddy Lite. For those of you who have told me in the past, I don't need all of that to go in the back, because usually the normal perimeter ones go all the way, extend down to the bottom of the occipital bone, okay, near the nape. So I have had a lot of people who say, well, I don't want it to go all the way down there, but they need a little extra support more than the Hairline Buddy. Okay, so this is in between the Hairline Buddy and the Closure Buddy. This is the Weave Buddy Lite. Okay, we're going to start off by opening up the little flap here and concentrate on sewing down the top part. Okay, I want to concentrate on sewing this top part down. I have a braid here, so this corner, I'm gonna start by sewing that down. And since the braid is right here, I'm gonna go ahead and sew the lace onto that braid as well. Okay. Come back down here and continue to sew that buddy, the edge of that buddy, onto the edges of her braid here. We're not using the protective paddles yet, which I will use them when we get to the front. Now, there is what I call a slit right here. So you want to take your needle and go through the small hole on both sides. Make that knot, close that slit. If you notice, I only am going through the small holes if I'm at a corner or if I'm closing the slits. Other than that, I put the needle through the large holes. Here's another little corner. So I'm going to put that needle through there, through that little square, and then close this slit. I'm going to stop right there because whatever you do to one side, you do to the other, and you don't, if you sew it all the way through, you know, it may shift. So you don't want any shifting. And now we're going to go ahead and go to the other side. And continue to sew. I'm sewing the lace onto the braid. Not the little flap, but the actual lace that's underneath that flap. And then I'm going to take this corner, because it is a corner, I'm going to go through the little square. I didn't pin this last braid too well. It's kind of floppy. Let me pin it better. Don't do this to a client, guys. That's just for the simulated hair, okay? All right, so let's go ahead and continue to sew down that Weave Buddy. It's the Weave Buddy Lite, but it's still the Weave Buddy, still in the Weave Buddy collection. Then I'm going to go ahead and close this slit, going through the small squares. And there's a braid here, so I'm going to grab that braid. There was no braid on here, so grab the closest braid and closing this slit back again. All right, and now since both sides are attached, there's not going to be any shifting anymore, so you can then go ahead and continue to sew all the way down. Well, this is the new remodeled, redesigned Weave Buddy Lite. So it wasn't circulating for maybe about a year. I took it off until I had time to redesign it and have it more to be like a unit that was in between the Hairline Buddy and all the perimeters, like the closure buddy, the side part buddy, the middle part buddy. All of those are perimeters. I wanted to take the time to redesign it to just, make it more convenient for the person who didn't want complete perimeter coverage but wanted more than just the hairline. So now this one stays on. It's like the Hairline Buddy, but it stays on. It's for a little bit extra damage. Okay, the Hairline Buddy is only for fine and thinning edges. Okay, so if you have a little bit more than fine and thinning edges, you want to go for the Weave Buddy Lite, or possibly one of the other perimeter units. Okay, so I'm going to stop right here because the needle is getting short and I want to get to the other side. Okay. So this is the strap of the end of this part. So we're sewing that strap down. And I'm running out of thread again, so I'm just gonna finish that off there. So if you're just coming on, if you've never seen the Weave Buddy in action, this one is the Weave Buddy Lite. And it's for light to, a little balding. Okay, so light thinning all the way up to a little balding. If you have a lot of balding, I don't recommend the Weave Buddy Lite. It's just for light balding or thinning. Okay, guys? I'm sewing down the elastic part, the fatter elastic parts that comes out of the Weave Buddy Lite on this side. And this little tie that I did was from these two corners. Okay, now this tie can actually be cut off. I did sew them down. If you want to save them again, because you're going to be reusing this unit, you can just overlap it. Hello, thanks for watching. Hopefully this will inspire you to try out our method. Okay, and now we're going to make sure that we can secure the front, and then the final will be to secure these two. A lot of people always ask, well, what do I do with the strands? So when you're done securing the front, the strands get tied to the back, okay? So now I want to slip in my protective paddles so that when I am sewing, lift it up a little so you can get into that grip. So when I am sewing, I don't poke her hairline. Okay, so I want to make sure that these two are, see this is, needs to be closed down. But before we do that, I want this to be so flat. So I'm going to go in there with my spring scissors. Okay, getting into this in between these two horizontal lines in between. So you're going to remove that. Now this doll has a funny shape, and that's why I want to make sure that I'm able to shape it exactly to her. You don't have to do that if it already is fitting your customer really good, okay? You don't have to do that. When you want to do more customizing, you can remove that square in between the two indentions, okay? Close that up. See how nice and flat that is, guys? Super great, and it's fitting, starting to fit her like a glove. We're gonna go ahead and go downward and close this slit over here. I kind of also want to remove this one too, so it could be like super closed up there, super flat, and plus just for training purposes. So I'm gonna go into this little square. What are you eating? Get out of there! Get out of there! I have 5-month-old Pomeranians, and they chew on everything, guys. All I hear is little gnawing. Okay, so closing this slit. And you see this grip that's on here. It's actually pretty flexible, so it's pretty soft, so you can go in through that to continue to close this slit. And you know, when it's like too hard for me to get the needle through, I keep some needle nose pliers handy to pull it out. Of course, I don't see them in my reach right now, but I usually have them in my reach. So this side is pretty flat now. Let's get to the other side, guys. Okay. Oh, I am out of thread. How are you doing? I am showing a demonstration on how to apply our newly redesigned Weave Buddy Lite. Right now I am in the process of closing the slits on both sides. So I did it to the right side, now I'm doing it to the left side. And I am going to go ahead and remove this little square here, just like I did on that side, and that's going to make it a little flatter. Make sure that you're using your protective paddle when you do this. You don't want to do it just raw where her hairline skin is. You know, you want to make sure you are using your protective paddles, okay? And then now we are closing this slit. Since I usually put my needles through the big squares, see? But when you get to a corner, make sure to put your needles through these little squares. Only at the corners I put the needle through the little squares. Everything else, I do use the big squares. Now I'm going to travel downward and close this slit up as well. Since I'm on this corner, I'm going to close that corner first. And just to make it super duper flat here, I am going to go ahead and remove this square as well, like I did on the other side. That little square that is going the opposite direction, okay? And then let's go ahead and close that up. Seems like a lot of work, but you can get used to it and it does become faster. Also, it's worth it. Your customer feels comfortable and is protected. You know, I like to look at it as like head armor, scalp armor. The Weave Buddy is fully protecting her edges and comfortable, and that's why you take your time to customize. So now this is ready for these little flaps to be tied to the back. I tie it firmly, but not like to the point where it's tight and hurting them, okay? So I will go ahead and sew this. You can sew both of these down together. Take advantage of having the needle here. This elastic is coming from the fatter band from when you put it on, and it's like it becomes like you know, a band. And this other strap is from the front. And what this front one does is that it helps keep that down, okay? So there's the answer to the question, what do I do with those straps? My puppies play a lot, guys. I'm sorry. I don't know if you hear that. Oh, I untied it without doing the other side. So let me get that other side. All right, all right. Want me to open the door now? Yes? Okay. Okay, there you go. I just remembered I gave them both a snack, but I didn't want them both to be together because then they fight. They're brothers and do that. Hey, what's up? What's up, little baby? What's going on? I'm almost done. Okay, almost done. Yes, dear. Yes. Really? Okay. Oh, I see. That doll head is kind of tripping. Is she tripping you out? That doll head is tripping you out. Okay. Yes, this is a doll head. It's a doll head. She won't hurt you or she won't hurt us. Shh. Silly Billy. Okay, that's enough. Go. He was tripping out on the doll hair. Okay. Bozy, come on now, stop. See, so this keeps it from, being loose at the front here. So there you have it. Okay? And now, hey, that's enough. She's not going to hurt me or you. She's just a doll head. Don't you see all those doll heads up there? Silly. Okay, and then you can also, let's see. Let's see. And also sew down this little flap real quick. Shh. Hopefully this is going to be enough thread. I'll just kind of use the leftover thread here. Just bringing it down. There we go. All right. So this is how you prepare your customer's scalp so that you can get her ready for her Weave Buddy sewing. Thank you so much for watching. God bless.